I want to say a special thank you to the folks in the Meninak Club of Jacksonville, the Leadership Jacksonville Next Generation. So great to see all of you wonderful young people here. I'm so excited about you. And League of Women Voters, who have been just so wonderfully helpful for so long in helping to educate our community. Thank you, all of you, for being here today. I'm grateful to the Meninak Club for hosting this luncheon and for providing the opportunity to speak with you and to hear from established community leaders and emerging young people who are doing the work of creating a better Jacksonville community. It's going to take all of us. It is that collective spirit of service that has brought us together here today, and each of us is here because we have a passion to serve others. That's what it's all about. Some of us have been doing this work for decades, and some of us may be just getting started on the path. Regardless of where we are along the way, we're all on a lifetime journey together. Let me take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about my journey. Now, you heard some of it, but the reason I want to talk a little bit about this is because I think it's so important, especially for you young people who are just getting started, to make sure that you keep your mind and your heart open to what may come down the path for you. When I graduated from the time I was in 5th grade, I knew I wanted to be a journalist, and I figured I would do that my entire life. Did for 30 years. But because it was always my goal to listen more than I spoke, I heard so much from the community that began to change my heart in various ways, that made me focus more on ways in which I could serve in deeper ways. When I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1999 for the first of 3 times, this community really came together for me in prayer, and also with some hard truths about what people were going through in their own lives, having a difficult time making ends meet while they were going through cancer. And so I felt called to the next thing. My focus shifted to that of trying to see how I could solve a problem better for our community through a foundation that helped underserved breast cancer patients. And then while I was there, I became frustrated with the fact that unless I could focus on policy, I couldn't change it for enough people. But how to change that policy? Felt like I was banging my head against the wall for so long. And ultimately, I determined that the only way to change policy for people was to get into the political arena. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I'm a big fan of politics, which may sound funny. But it's one of the reasons that I think I've taken it as part of this role to change it. And that may sound like a Pollyanna-ish wish to some of you, but I would just call to your attention this past election. And I think that people made a very intentional choice of love over fear. And all of that because I kept my heart and my mind open to how I might serve. So ultimately, in the end, I ran for mayor of Jacksonville because I really love this city with all my heart. And I want to make it better. That's why I ran for mayor. I want to see it be a place where every person has the opportunity to thrive, a city that is united by love, not divided by fear, a city where we look out for each other, a city that works for all of us, as you heard earlier, and a city that celebrates its diversity. To me, that's our greatest strength, and we have to make sure we continue to embrace it. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to work with each of you to bring that vision to life. One of the most important outcomes to me is to make sure we become a community where our young people choose to stay and to raise their own families here. That's such a big deal for us in Jacksonville if we're going to get to where we want to go. We've been losing too many of our best and brightest to cities like Tampa and Orlando and Charlotte and Greenville and other cities that frankly in so many ways have passed us like we're standing still. It's personal for me. As a 5th generation Jacksonville native, this city, as I've often said, is in my DNA. That's not the only reason, though. It is personal because my daughter Danielle is one of those people that moved to Tampa. She said, "Mom, there's just not enough happening in Jacksonville. There's so much to do and so many places to rise in Tampa." So my hope is that she and many of our other young people will come back home after seeing the progress that we're making here and all the exciting developments and positive changes that we deliver for young people in this community. I'm such a believer in our potential that I actually have a running bet with the former mayor of Tampa, Bob Buckhorn. that we will win Danielle back here to Jacksonville. I'm gonna win that bet. I promise you that. So, how do we start building a city where our young people choose to stay and the young people who leave decide to come back home? Well, my administration is focused on creating opportunity, building a thriving downtown, and making Jacksonville a more affordable place for them to live. When it comes to opportunity, we are building stronger partnerships with our educational institutions and the industries that hire from them. We are making sure there are a variety of good-paying jobs, ranging from small mom and pop shops to the big innovators that dot our downtown skyline. We are supporting young entrepreneurs with incubator programs and facade grants so their small businesses can take off. And we're ensuring those resources are available no matter what neighborhood a business owner lives in. We are investing in the arts, so Jacksonville's young artists and musicians have the support system to showcase their talents, build an audience, grow, and succeed. You know, we have such an incredibly rich history in Jacksonville in the arts and entertainment, and it may just start with educating people about that rich history, because once people understand where we've been, they're gonna be excited to get back to that place. We're making entertainment a priority too, with a focus on parks, trails, green spaces, museums, special events, and nightlife. I hope that's a page I didn't need anymore. It's no secret that young people prefer urban living, so we are bringing these pieces together to build that thriving downtown where young people want to live, play, learn, and love. Some of the top priorities in my new budget are on building a continuous series of riverside parks and connecting nearby neighborhoods with segments of the Emerald Trail. I believe that activating our riverfront is one of the ways we bring more people downtown, and especially young people that want to live there. It's also important that we make Jacksonville more affordable. As I said, when it comes to housing, boy, affordable housing, we are really struggling right now with 147,000 people who are on a waiting list for affordable housing. And we actually shut that list down because it was just too big. We have got to make sure we focus on affordable housing. It's clear we have a lot of work ahead to bring down the rent costs, and we have a lot more to do to make home ownership more attainable for young people and their future families as they seek to set down roots here in Jacksonville. Rising sea levels, intensifying storms, and more extreme heat are placing a huge financial cost and human burden on the next generation if we do nothing. That's why our budget and our efforts across city government are strongly focused on resilience. We're fixing stormwater drainage, building bulkheads, planting trees, and hiring more staff who are dedicated to preparing ourselves for climate change. This is going to be absolutely key to our success as a city, and frankly, key to the success of the next generation. With an eye to the future, we're also making good on the broken promises of the past by removing septic tanks, installing streetlights and sidewalks, and investing in neighborhoods that have been left behind. We are celebrating our diversity, the beautiful mosaic that is our community, and people from across the world who call Jacksonville home. At the end of the day, we are building a city that is healthy, safe, resilient, and thriving. The very type of place that young people can be proud of and choose to stay their entire lives. The Leadership Jacksonville's Next Generation Class of 2023, thank you for taking an interest in our city and its future. It's your future too, as you know. I'm so excited about you, I really am. It will take participation by people from all walks of life. It will take voices across ages, neighborhoods, and experience to become the city that we are destined to be. If I can take a moment to offer just a little bit of advice to the young leaders in the room, it would be this. I encourage each of you to continue making your voices heard and engage in the civic process. City government is meant to represent you, and it can only do that if it hears from you and on a regular basis. Your friends, your colleagues, your coworkers, your neighbors, all of you, you need to get involved in this effort. Build a movement and share that your generation is a true force. Use your voice and use your muscle. Don't discount your own ideas or experiences. You have the power to transform Jacksonville and create a brighter future if you decide to combine that power with passion and with purpose. One of my top priorities as mayor is to reactivate and diversify the dozens of city-led boards that make policy decisions for our city. I encourage you to find one that aligns with your interests and to apply for an appointment. Many of the choices that affect your future happen on those boards. We have so many bright young leaders in the room and in Jacksonville. It's my goal to build a bench for the next generation, and I'm ready to hold the door open for you so you can run through it. To the business and community leaders here today, I want to thank you for continuing the work that powers our city and for believing in young people just as I do. We are more than just a collection of neighborhoods in Jacksonville. We are a true community. If we continue to listen to each other, see the problems around us, and work together towards solutions, we will realize our vision of a Jacksonville where everyone thrives. So thank you for being a valued part of this city. I look forward to creating that Jacksonville that works for all of us.